Hello everybody, my name is Iceberg Lettuce, and behind me what you will see is a sea pickle farm that I have designed for Minecraft 1.16. So today we are going to be taking a look at how this thing works, and I'll be showing you how you can build one of these for yourself. Let's get started. So the way this farm works is pretty simple. All it is a simple repeater clock that gets activated when we push this block forward, which is activating both sides of pistons over and over, pushing this coral floor that you see in there back and forth. And it is also bone mealing that sea pickle up at the top here using a dispenser over and over in order to create more sea pickles, which get broken when the coral shifts. So it's not too complicated, and then the pickles just get sent to both sides of this, where they are then funneled over into this line of hoppers right here. So I have this tower of scaffolding here because you'll need to be able to reach that lever as well as put bone meal into this chest right here. So that's how the design works. Let's talk about everything you'll need to actually build it. Here's a list of all the materials. You can pause the video and, get all these together if you want. These are all the correct numbers. I'm mostly going to be building this thing out of white stained glass just because it allows you to see what's inside more easily, but you could pretty much use any block. It doesn't need to be a transparent block. You will need some sort of solid block though for some parts of this build, and for those parts I'm going to be using smooth stone. So the first step will be whatever storage system you're doing. I just like to do 5 double chests like this with hoppers leading into them, but if you wanted to hook up the hoppers a different way, you could do that. Then behind this, we are going to build a 5x6 area of, I'm using glass, but you can use whatever building block you want, and this is where the flowing water is going to go. So 5x6, just like this. Then around this, we are going to put a border. This will be basically the edge of the farm, so this will be about as big as it gets in terms of length and width. And then we're going to need to put blocks over top of these chests, so you're going to want to make sure these are transparent blocks so you can still open the chests. Then back here, this is where the flowing water will go, so you can place that flowing water there. So the next step will be the pistons, and these need to be facing in like this, so you'll need some temporary blocks to get them placed in properly. Then we'll do the same on this side. 5 pistons facing inwards, 1 block out from the glass. Then we can place some more glass in around the edge here where the pistons are not. Then on top of this, we're going to want 5 solid blocks. These need to be solid blocks, so 5 solid blocks on top of those pistons. And then in front of those, we're going to want to place 2 glass on both sides. Then in between, you're going to want to have a stairs that is facing into the blocks like this, and you're going to want to waterlog that. And this is just to keep the coral block that will be sitting here from dehydrating. So do the same thing on this side. Water. And this ensures that every coral block is at all times touching one water source so that none of the coral blocks will ever dry out. So since we have all that water in now, we can start placing in the coral blocks. So we'll start on this side. You'll need to place 1 coral block in the middle. Then it gets wider. It's basically a giant rhombus. So then 5 and 5 again. Then just 3. And finally 1 here. And so this is the entire floor. Obviously you could make these blocks whatever you wanted, but I'm going to use smooth stone for those. And then, so there's the floor done. Next up, we're going to want to build up the walls around this thing a little bit more. So finish up this layer here with some more blocks, whatever you're using, like that. And then we're going to go up 1 more layer, but you need to make sure that this block here is a solid block. I'm using mostly transparent blocks, but this one here needs to be a solid block. So then just finish that up around here. And now it will be time to place in some signs. So once you've got this done, this is where the signs will go. So you'll need 10 signs on both sides covering these walls here. And this is just to ensure that the water that's sitting up here on top of the shifting floor does not flow over into this water stream here. So now we can start doing the actual water that goes in this section. So you'll need to place some temporary blocks here. Just cover the ground in 25 temporary blocks. Doesn't matter what you use, I'm just using glass. And then this, I would say, is a good time to do the dispenser. So grab your dispenser here. You won't need any more signs. And you're going to want to place it 1 block above where these temporary blocks are. So just like this. It should be 2 blocks above the coral. Okay, now we can place in this water here. So place a line of water directly underneath the dispenser and a line one block closer to the side without the hoppers. And this makes it so there is no spot here where the water is not flowing. So the items that float up to the top here will always be in some sort of water stream, so they're not just sitting still. Now that you've done that, you can break all of these temporary blocks here. And then we will place one more coral right here underneath the dispenser. And this is the point where you'll need your sea pickles. So grab a single sea pickle, or you can place 4 there. It'll get duplicated anyway, so it doesn't matter. So just place your sea pickle there, and that part of the farm is done. Now it's time for the redstone. So we'll be putting the redstone on top of the roof of this thing. So place some more blocks here on the roof. This one will need to be solid. It'll be the same on this side. This block will need to be solid, and this is just to ensure that the redstone line can go down here, because redstone lines cannot actually travel downwards on transparent blocks like glass. So keep building this just all the way around here to cover up the top so no sea pickles get out. And this here is where we'll need 2 hoppers and a double chest, and this will feed the bone meal into our dispenser. The rest of this can just be covered in glass, so it's not really important what block you use here. Alright, so there's the roof. So now we'll need some redstone dust, and you can place that all over these blocks, like so. And we'll also need a repeater. We'll actually need those 4 repeaters, and so those will go, you will need 2 going like this way, and 2 going like this, that way. You need to make sure they're facing the correct ways. So add some redstone dust here, here, and here, as well as here and here, and then you'll need also some redstone dust here and here. So that's where all the redstone dust will go. Now you need a target block, which will go right here, and that just keeps the redstone dust from going straight out and points it into this block, so it's powering the dispenser underneath. If you want to build this in a version other than 1.16, you could replace this with a solid block there and have the redstone dust like this, but I'm assuming you're doing this on 1.16, so just use a target block, makes it easier. Alright, so next up we will build the actual activation system. Alright, so the activation system is pretty simple. Just need a solid block here and another solid block here, and this is where the sticky piston will go. And this is the block that we're actually going to need to power, so I'm just putting a lever on that, but if you wanted to make it a little easier on yourself, you could just make a redstone line powering this block that goes all the way down to the bottom, but I'm just going to put that there. So that will be powered usually, and then we will need a observer right here, and that is pretty much the entire farm done. So now we can just feed some, I don't know how to spell, bone meal. We'll need to feed some bone meal into here, so just fill that up with however much bone meal you have, and then once you're ready, turning this lever on will now activate the farm. So you can see we can power that, and you're seeing we're getting tons of sea pickles, and they're all flowing down here into these chests. So that is pretty much the entire farm. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and see you next time, everybody. Bye.